My podcast has brought me 7 figures in business. If you're not using podcast to leverage your network and deepen relationships, you are missing out on exponential revenue gains in your business. I highly recommend you start a podcast immediately because I've been able to create some partnerships, international partnerships, as a result of using my podcast, and people that I would have never met in my life that now we're working together and we are just killing it. I think a lot of people get hung up on the fact that they're like, well, who's gonna listen to my podcast? Nobody's gonna listen to your podcast, and that's okay. That's not why you're creating the podcast. 100 episodes at least, so that you can start getting traction, so that you can start thinking about whether or not you wanna monetize the podcast. When you're creating the podcast, it is strictly to deepen relationships. If you're gonna meet somebody for the first time, invite them to your podcast. That way you're knocking out 3, 4, 5 birds with one stone. Do the podcast, don't think about it, just start like 3 years ago.